So Ellen DeGeneres has been getting some flack lately. Now, to be clear, I don't give two shits about Ellen DeGeneres. All I know is she's gay, she has her own talk show, and her last name is of French origin. Heritage is a hobby of mine. I'm Irish. Um, but I don't know when, but apparently recently, and my ignorance of sports is about to come up, but I think she may have been she was at a football game with Packers versus Cubs. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't care about sports. I don't. Politics is my thing. Politics and crime shows and supernatural and Star Wars. Sports is not one of my passions. Anyway, but the point is that she was seen sitting next to disgraced war criminal George Walker Bush. W. Now, she recently made a very weak ass attempt to defend her position, and here it is.
This weekend, I went to Dallas for the Cowboys game, and thanks. And it may not seem like a big deal for a celebrity to attend a football game, but I never leave my house, so it is a big deal. I go through the drive-through at Wendy's, so I only have to see one person. I'm that kind of person. So there were 100,000 people in this stadium. Beautiful stadium, by the way, that Dallas has. So Portia and I were invited by Charlotte Jones. She's the daughter of Jerry Jones, who owns the Dallas Cowboys. And we went because we wanted to keep up with the Joneses. So anyway, so we get to sit in this very fancy suite because, he owns the whole place. So his suite is fancy, and he's got fancy friends. And I don't mean fancy like Real Housewife fancy. I mean like fancy. Look, I took a video of who was next to me. Yeah, fancy. So that was Portia, and that was Charlotte Jones. Portia was talking to, and George W. Bush, and then in front of us was the tallest man in the world. And so I've got to say, when we were invited, I was aware that I was going to be surrounded with people from very different views and beliefs. And I'm not talking about politics. I was rooting for the Packers, and get this, everybody in the Cowboys suite was rooting for the Cowboys. And so I had to hide my cheese hat in Portia's purse. And don't get me wrong, I like the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys. I love all the Village people, as a matter of fact. But Aaron Rodgers is a friend of mine. He's the quarterback for the Packers, and so I'm sitting in the Cowboys suite, the owner of the Cowboys, and secretly cheering every time the Packers scored, or every time another whistleblower came forward. And the referees, you guys, the referees. But during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and so people were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11. But a lot of people were mad, and they did what people do when they're mad. They tweet, but here's one tweet that I loved. This person says, Ellen and George Bush together makes me have faith in America again. And exactly. Here's the thing. I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay that we're all different. For instance, I wish people wouldn't wear fur. I don't like it, but I'm friends with people who wear fur. And I'm friends with people who are furry, as a matter of fact. I have friends who should tweeze more. And but just because I don't agree with someone on everything doesn't mean that I'm not going to be friends with them. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone. Doesn't matter. Even people who are already playing Christmas music. I mean, seriously, there's no excuse for that. But I'm kind to them.
Ellen, listen to me. You're missing the point of why everyone's upset with you. It's not that you're being friends with a Republican. It's what Republican you are being friends with. You know, if you were at a football game and you decide to sit next to Marco Rubio, and I'm just pulling a random Republican out of my head, no one would care. It's the fact that you're being friends with George W. Bush. George Walker Bush. No one cares that the gay Hollywood liberal, besides no one cares about the fact that you're gay. I mean, sure, that's the only thing I know about you, but no one cares that you're a gay Hollywood. Anyway, it's not the fact that it's a Hollywood liberal being friends with a Republican president. It's the fact that it's a some person who is not conservative being friends with a monster. George Bush is one of 3 presidents responsible for America's woes today. Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump, and Bush Jr. Not in that order, but you get the drift. Let me explain one of George Bush Jr. has a lot of sins, and the ones I can come up with at the top of my head while the rage is still storming my mind is the whole 2000 the election itself, you know, the whole Florida thing, which by the way his brother was the governor of. So you can't tell me there wasn't any interference by Jeb. And then on June 7th, 2001, he issued a $1 trillion tax cut for rich fat cats such as himself, which destroyed Bill Clinton's budget surplus and brought back the deficit, which still is with us today and is getting worse because of Trump's tax cuts for the rich. Then he ignored a memo that said Bin Laden determined his strike inside the United States and therefore allowed 9/11 to happen. I'm not saying that he could have done something. Tighten security. Then he used 9/11 to justify signing the Patriot Act, which is basically the American version of the Nazi Enabling Act. The Patriot Act basically guts every one of the Bill of Rights except the second one. Then he started the Iraq War. Oh, and torture. And even before Iraq, he allowed people to be tortured. You know, the whole enhanced interrogation. No, it's torture. You know, if you're doing something if you're doing something physical to them that you wouldn't want them doing to you, that's torture. You know, if it causes bodily harm and causes pain, it's torture. You know, forcing someone to listen to a Justin Bieber song, that's torture, and so is waterboarding. Then he did Iraq, and he lied to us, saying Iraq was involved in 9/11. Oh, they weren't? Well, they have weapons of mass destruction. Oh, they don't? Well, they're bad people. You know, even though there are plenty of bad people. You know, we're allies for some reason with Saudi Arabia, which is leading a genocide in Saudi. And the Wall Street bailouts, and the NSA spying, which Sean Hannity loved until Obama came around, because he's a fucking hypocrite. George Bush has killed thousands of people. He murdered at minimum 200,000 Iraqis just to save a nickel and a gallon of gas and sacrificed 4,491 Americans for it. And you think it's fine just because there's someone who's worse than him? Trump may be worse than Bush in some areas, but that doesn't rehabilitate Bush. Bush does not deserve friends. He should be tried by The Hague and sentenced to life in prison, if not worse. I don't give a shit if you're like, oh, I'm friends with people who are conservatives. I'm friends with Republicans. You can be friends with Republicans, okay, but not that one. Let him be miserable and alone and have no one except his stupid wife and his stupid twin daughters. George Bush does not deserve shit. He doesn't deserve anything good. I hope I'm sorry, but I don't wish for anything good on him. I'm sorry, but when I see him, I see war crimes. I see a war criminal who should be brought before the Hague on war crimes against both the people of Iraq and the people of the United States. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Bush and fuck you. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have had that triggered reaction, but look, the point is, Ellen, you're making it as if it's not a liberal versus Republican thing. It's the fact that you're being pals with George Bush. He doesn't deserve friends. I stand by that. I've calmed down, but he doesn't deserve friends. He doesn't deserve anything. He's a mass murderer, a war criminal, and a violator of the Constitution. That paycheck and the war in Iraq was the worst things he's ever done, and he has never paid for it. You know, I don't care about. You can be friends with that spineless Lindsey Graham for all I care. I'll just look at you weird, like it. George Bush doesn't deserve anything good in life. He lost every right when he did all the things he did. And also, he started the whole division thing. The whole, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. People are still having that mentality that you're either with the Republican Party or you hate America. Ellen DeGeneres, I don't hate you, but we liberals hate George Bush for good reason. Now, if you stand by that, fine. But I just don't understand how you can ignore all the wrong things that man has done. He should be in prison. But fine. Just don't think that we're attacking you simply, or don't think that we're giving you flack simply because you're being friends with a Republican. It's not that. It's the individual that you're hanging out with we have a problem with. Well, it's 12:30. I'm gonna go to bed now. I got the day off, but still, it's getting late. Anyway, stay awesome, stay progressive, stay calm, and of course,
may the force be with you.